Okay, so the lead guitar, the guitar solo. I've got a bunch of scales and some chord shapes as well, and what I'm going to do is just go through lick by lick. I separated this solo by phrases, not by measures. A lot of times he's starting the phrase a little bit before that particular chord arrives, but I wanted to look at this a phrase at a time. Starts off fairly melodic. Right, that's if you go down to the bellum. So now you can think of this a few ways. You can think of your like an E7 chord, or you can think of this, you know, as kind of a modified major pentatonic with the 7. So kind of this idea. And that's your rock and roll stuff too. I put this down as the E. Jerry style blues scale. It's the first one there. And I start at the top. Okay. Now some of this other stuff, you wouldn't go in order like this, but you would go, that's your flat 5. And you might go up to your major 3rd there, so knowing your root, your 3rd, your 7, your root. Okay, so I call that the Jerry. And you throw in some chromatics, turn on the major 3rd. Okay, so I've come to where I call that the Jerry style blues scale. And you can also visualize your E shape. And so that's where the notes come from. Okay, and whatever, that's how he phrased it this time. So you're taking the melody and you're maybe changing up the phrasing. Okay, so we're on acoustic, so we don't want to venture up too high. We're pretty much going to stop here, and then we're going to use E here. Okay, and you can think of this as like E minor pentatonic, E blues. And Jerry, of course, is going to use various chromatic approaches like this. Okay? And this becomes now this lick here, that's like a Jerry country blues lick. And you know how you want to relate to that. You know, you've got E here, or like I said, this blues scale or minor pentatonic scale. I relate to this lick off of this chord shape, just like where it is. I'm bending into the major 3rd kind of, but not quite getting there. So it becomes kind of an extension of that, but it's also a nice way for Jerry to connect different phrases, you know, so he can be up here. Okay, in this particular instance, it went 2nd, 1st, 2nd, 1st, 2nd. Okay, but that's an area where you can have variety. You know, he'll do variation there of just. And so you could play around with that, just that little idea of how many different ways you want to phrase these notes together. Now here he does it, and you're holding that, and then when you release the bend, you pull off here and land here. Okay, we're going to A7, and we do have A7 here, and it's going to connect down to A here, which would be your A Jerry style blues scale over there, and there's like this extension that kind of connects to this A. Okay, so what's happening here is, okay, here comes A, kind of different, but you can think of that as ideas around this. I like this idea of this 6 here. So like, I saw this lick and I just started playing around with the idea of including this 6 more prominently. Just caught my fancy. So that's the kind of thing, you know, you run across a lick and just one little thing about it gives you something to think about and play with. Okay, so here comes the A. Now, I haven't mentioned this, but very important with Jerry style blues and Jerry style soloing in general is that he plays the chord changes. So you know, he's playing E scale and E chord tones, E7 chord tones over the E, and then when the chord changes to A, he's playing A stuff. And then when it goes back to E, he's playing E. And then he's playing B over the B. So that's like Jerry 101 right there, is that he's doing that a lot of the time. So he just ended over here on A, then shifts completely, comes up here. And this, you know, I think of this A. And let me see, I've got this written down as A Jerry Blues / Mixolydian scale. And you might have seen this before. Think of your A or your A7 chord here, or like this. And so Jerry has this whole area that he'll use in various ways. You know, pull-offs and hammer-ons. All this kind of stuff. So even when he comes in, he's here and then okay, up into the major third of the A, pre-bends into that 7, and lands on the E for the E chord. And here he's going just down major pentatonic. I have this written down, the E major pentatonic, the second scale I have listed. Okay? And so I didn't always tab complete scales. You know, some of these are just little pieces of things that you can relate to different things. So, you know, visualizing the fretboard for me is a combination. I really like to use chords because, you know, the chord tones are made up of the scale tones, and so the chords and the scales are going to live close by anyway. And so I'm not thinking in limiting to one or the other or a particular scale. Wherever I am on the neck, there's little pieces and fragments of material, not just quoted licks, but scale tones, you know. So I have this whole area to work with, and I know this little piece, so I don't have to think of, say, a whole 2 octaves or whatever to get in the mindset of that scale. I can sort of combine in my mind this idea of like a E chord, and then over here I've got E major pentatonic, and there's my 7, and here's my A chord that we were just talking about B7. So you combine all these thoughts and hopefully just see whatever you need to see as needed. Hope that makes sense. So let's see, from the start, what did we do so far? Okay, so now we're going to be in E major pentatonic over here. Think about this, because this lick is just like a major pentatonic kind of stock lick there. It's the major pentatonic. If it was minor, it'd be, but it's what was the lick again? Okay, so bend. Now I'm not even trying to get my G string to bend a whole step. So you end up falling short, even though, like, technically it would be a whole step bend, but I don't know. I have regular gauge strings on this, and that's a wound G, and I just don't like torquing it that much. Okay, so let me see. Did I tab that? I did tab it as a whole step, but I'm not going the full whole step because I don't want to. Okay, and so even though it's a little sour, it still kind of works as a blues. Okay, now here comes the B chord. So bing, 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 down chromatic, lands on B over the B chord. And then you slide in, you could think of this as B major pentatonic, or you could think of this as a B7 chord, like here's your B, relate to the root note on the second string, B, 12th fret, add your pinky here on the third string, that's your 7, so, okay, so he plays a B7 over a B. Now I like this too. Now, how am I thinking about this? Because this is C sharp. To the B, we're on the B chord, or the B7. This is the 9. It's also the 6 of the E. So you can think of this like a E lick that's coming early. But it sounds like the 9 of the B7, so that's pretty interesting idea. It gives it a little tiny bit of jazzy flavor. And then that's just, you know, landing on the E chord. Now let's see. Right, then there was a lick at the end. Let me see, I'm losing my place. Yeah, and so that's just like a rehash of, and we go second, first, second, okay, and that's it. So playing all the changes starts off a little more melodic and then gets into playing just the chord changes. A, E, B, E. Okay, so let's see, I tabbed out a bunch of scales. I might even mention some here that I didn't tab out, but different ways to visualize things. So the main thing is you're playing the changes, you're playing that chord, and you're combining chord tones and scale tones hopefully as freely as possible, and then just separating it out into phrases that are something like the phrasing of the lyric, although then you can fill in the other spots as well as Jerry does. So that's a solo. Gives you a few options of using E and A up here, of using E here and A7, and we didn't even use B here, but we could have with our E. So just take that concept and run with it. So that's a guitar solo for Deep Ellum, and guess what? That is Jerry Garcia Deep Ellum Blues acoustic guitar lesson. I hope you like it, and I will see you next time.